If you tell a woman any of these 5 things, she might smile on the outside, but deep down, she's losing attraction for you, fast. And the worst part? Most guys think saying this stuff is honest or romantic. It's not. It's a mistake you don't come back from. Let's be real. Words can either pull a woman closer or push her away forever. The things you say, especially early on, are either building mystery and interest, or making her file you under nice guy, not worth it. I've seen guys sabotage attraction without even realizing it, just by opening their mouths. That's why today, we're breaking down 5 specific things you should never tell a woman if you want her to be drawn to you. These are the attraction killers that ruin your chances, no matter how good-looking, successful, or confident you are. Never tell a woman these 5 things, because once you do, there's no going back. She might not call you out, she might not even react in the moment, but deep inside, something will shift, and not in your favor. Her curiosity, gone. The attraction, slipping away, all because of something you said without realizing how it landed. That's the brutal truth. Most guys have no clue how much damage a few innocent words can do until it's already too late. See, attraction isn't just about how you look or how much money you make. It's about how you make a woman feel. And sometimes, the things you say with the best intentions, trying to show love, trying to be honest, trying to connect, end up making you look weak, desperate, or emotionally unstable. It doesn't matter what you meant. What matters is how she interprets it. And once a woman gets the vibe that you're too eager, too available, or too emotionally dependent, she starts checking out. Quietly, slowly, but definitely. Here's what makes it worse. These attraction-killing phrases often sound like compliments, or like they're coming from a good place. And that's why guys keep saying them. They think they're opening up or being sincere, when in reality, they're throwing away all the mystery and tension that made the woman attracted in the first place. It's like giving away the ending of a movie 5 minutes in. There's nothing left to be curious about, no challenge, no spark, just comfort. And comfort doesn't create obsession. Let's take a common one. You've been texting a girl you like for a few days. Things seem to be going okay. You're vibing. She's responding. Then one night, you send her this message. I can't stop thinking about you. You hit send and wait. She doesn't reply. Hours pass. You think she's asleep. The next morning, still nothing. And now your brain goes into panic mode. Did I say too much? Yes, you did. Because what you thought was sweet made her feel like you're already way more into her than she is into you. It kills the chase. It screams, you're on a pedestal and I'm just hoping you'll choose me. That's not attractive. That's pressure. Another one that ruins everything, telling her, I don't know what I'd do without you. Now, if you've been married for 10 years and you've gone through real life together, maybe this lands. But if you've only known her a few weeks, it sounds like emotional blackmail. Like you're saying your happiness depends on her presence. And whether she realizes it or not, she'll start to feel suffocated. Because now she's not dating a man who's solid and grounded. She's dating a guy who falls apart the second she pulls away. That doesn't make her feel safe. It makes her feel trapped. And trapped people run. The scary part is, you might not even notice it happening. She won't yell at you. She won't start a fight. She'll just start pulling back. Slower replies, less enthusiasm, canceling plans, telling you she's just been really busy. That's the beginning of the end. And you'll be left confused, thinking, but I thought we were getting close. No, you weren't. You were speeding past the natural rhythm of attraction and jumping straight into emotional dependency. And she felt it. Then there's the classic line, I've never met anyone like you. Again, it sounds nice. And maybe you really do feel that way. But if you say this too early, it screams inexperience. It makes her feel like she's the only woman who's ever made you feel something real, which can come across as intense, naive, or even manipulative. Think about it. How would you feel if someone you barely knew said, you're the best person I've ever met? You'd feel a little uncomfortable, right? Because it feels like too much, too fast. It doesn't feel earned. And that's the key word here, earned. Women want to feel chosen after they've earned it, after they've invested, after they've opened up. When you say things like, You're unlike anyone I've ever met too soon. It feels like you're falling for the idea of her, not the real her. That's not attraction, that's projection. And most women have dealt with guys like this before. It's a red flag, not because they don't want to feel special, but because they want to feel like you're not easily impressed, that you have standards, that they had to do something to capture your attention. But the one that really destroys any chance of long-term attraction is saying, I'll do anything for you. And look, I get it. You want to show loyalty. You want her to know you care. But what you're really saying is, I have no boundaries. I'll put you above myself. I'll give you everything, even if it means losing who I am. That's not romantic. That's self-abandonment. And women don't respect that. They may use it. They may enjoy the benefits of it. But deep down, they're not attracted to it. Because attraction is built on respect. And respect comes from strength, not submission. I've seen it happen in real life. A guy I knew was head over heels for this girl. He told her all the time, "You're my world. I'll do anything to make you happy." At first, she ate it up. She smiled, thanked him, let him take her on trips, buy her gifts. But over time, you could see her start to withdraw. He couldn't understand it. He thought he was doing everything right. But what he didn't realize was that he had turned himself into a doormat. There was no tension, no mystery, no edge, just unconditional devotion, and no self-respect. She left him for a guy who challenged her, who didn't say much but made her feel something. What you need to understand is that women don't fall in love through logic. They fall in love through emotion, through moments of unpredictability, through contrast, moments of closeness, followed by moments of space. Saying you'd do anything for her destroys that contrast. It tells her, I'll never challenge you. I'll never leave. I'll always be available. And if there's no risk of loss, there's no value in what you're offering. It's just there, always, which means she can ignore it because it'll still be there tomorrow. That's not how you create desire. That's how you create boredom. And this leads to something deeper. Attraction isn't just about what you give, it's about what you withhold. The space you leave, the things you don't say, the moments you pull back just enough to make her wonder. That's what makes her obsess. That's what keeps her thinking about you when you're not around. But the second you start pouring your heart out, making grand declarations, and offering yourself up like a human sacrifice, the attraction dies a silent death. Not because you weren't a good guy, but because you didn't understand the game you were playing. Once you understand that what you say can either spark desire or kill it, you start to realize how important it is to hold back sometimes. Not in a cold or manipulative way, but in a way that keeps things alive. Mystery matters, subtlety matters. The truth is, a woman doesn't fall for you because you tell her everything. She falls for the guy who makes her feel something, even if she can't explain why. And half the time it's because he didn't hand it all over on a silver platter. He made her guess, he made her wonder. He made her chase the feeling, not just sit back and receive it. Now let's talk about another common mistake men make. Telling a woman about all the other women who hurt them in the past. You might think it makes you look vulnerable. You might even believe it'll help her understand you better. But here's what she's actually thinking. If you're still so hung up on them, why are you here with me? That's not what you want her to feel. You don't want her thinking about your past heartbreaks. You want her focused on the tension between you and her right now. When you open up too much too soon about how badly someone treated you, you're not building intimacy. You're dumping emotional baggage in her lap. That's not attractive. That's exhausting. She's not your therapist. She's not here to heal your wounds, at least not in the beginning. She wants to be swept up in the energy of who you are now, not pulled into the drama of who hurt you before. Because even if she feels sympathy, that's not the same as desire. Sympathy makes her want to protect you. Desire makes her want to be close to you. The two aren't the same. And once she sees you as the guy who's been broken and is still bleeding, she may not see you as the man she wants to submit to emotionally. Not because she's heartless, but because it signals you're not yet whole. And here's what's crazy. Many women won't even tell you that it turned them off. They'll listen. They'll nod. They might even say, "That's terrible," or "You didn't deserve that." But inside, the energy shifts. You become safe, predictable, and eventually forgettable. This doesn't mean you should never talk about your past, but timing matters. Emotional control matters. You have to show her that your past didn't break you, that you've taken the hit, learned from it, and kept moving forward. That's strength. That's resilience. That's what women are really drawn to. And this all ties into one core truth. Women want to feel like they're earning your love, like they're slowly unlocking parts of you. If you give it all away too quickly, your emotions, your affection, your time, your attention, there's nothing left to chase. And once there's nothing to chase, there's no thrill. That's when she starts pulling away. Not because she's heartless, but because there's no emotional journey left. It's like finishing a puzzle in 2 minutes. It's over before it began. And then she's off looking for the next challenge. You want to keep her attention? Then stop over-explaining yourself. Stop sending novels in your texts. Stop confessing every feeling just because you think it's the honest thing to do. Attraction thrives in uncertainty. Not confusion, but uncertainty. The space between what she knows and what she thinks she knows. That's where the fire burns. When you're too available, when you speak too much, when you say everything on your mind with no filter, you kill that fire. You close the gap. And once the gap is gone, so is the curiosity. A woman should feel like you have options. She should get the sense that you're not desperate for her attention. Not because you're trying to play games, but because you're living a full life. You're not waiting around for her to reply. You're not on your phone at 2 a.m. wondering if you said something wrong. You're focused on your goals. You're handling your business. And if she wants a piece of that world, she has to earn her place in it. That's how you flip the dynamic. That's how you shift from chasing to attracting. But if every time she pulls back even a little, you panic and start spilling your heart out, she'll lose respect for you. She might feel bad for you, but she won't feel drawn to you because you're not centered, you're not grounded, you're reacting. And reacting is not attractive. It shows you're not in control of yourself. And when you're not in control of yourself, how can you lead anyone else? Let's say you're seeing a woman and suddenly she starts acting distant. You could go into explanation mode. Did I do something wrong? Are you okay? Is something going on between us? But every one of those messages tells her something. You need her reassurance. You're not solid without her. You're emotionally dependent on her behavior. Instead, imagine this. She pulls back and you stay quiet, calm, focused. You don't chase, you don't beg, you go on with your day. That silence, that stillness, that's powerful. That's the kind of energy that makes a woman question her distance, not justify it. And that's really what this is about. Holding your frame, not trying to control her or manipulate her, but being unmoved, being composed. When she sees that you're not falling apart because of a little space, she starts to wonder why. She starts to lean back in, because women are drawn to strength, not physical strength, but emotional resilience, the kind of presence that says, I'm good, with or without you. This is how the most desired men operate. They don't overshare. They don't make grand declarations. They don't chase love. They attract it by being rooted in their own self-worth. Women feel it. They sense when a man knows who he is and doesn't need validation to stay steady. And that's the kind of energy that drives women crazy. Not because you're playing games, but because you're not afraid to lose her. That, more than anything, is what makes you valuable. Now, the truth is, this takes discipline. It takes a willingness to sit with discomfort. Because when you really like someone, it's hard not to express it all. It's hard not to chase, not to explain, not to clarify every moment. But if you can hold back just a little and let her come to you on her own, the dynamic shifts completely. You're no longer the guy trying to prove his worth. You're the guy she's trying to understand, trying to figure out, trying to impress. That's the energy that makes her dream about you at night. That's the energy that makes her scroll through your old messages, wondering why you suddenly pulled back. It's not about being distant for no reason. It's about knowing when to stop talking, when to let silence speak for you, and when to trust that your presence alone is enough to make her want more. There's something deeply magnetic about a man who can sit in silence and not flinch, who can let a woman feel the space between them without rushing to fill it with words. That space is where attraction grows. It's where anticipation builds. When you're not always there, when you're not always explaining yourself, she's forced to lean in, to pay attention, to start reading between the lines. And that's when she starts to obsess, because now she's the one doing the chasing. She's the one trying to decode your energy, your moods, your silence. Think about it. How often have you seen a woman fall for the guy who says the least? The one who's just a little detached, a little mysterious? It's not about being cold, it's about creating emotional gravity. When you talk too much, when you give too much, you break the tension. But when you speak with intent, when every word has weight, she listens differently. She doesn't just hear what you say, she feels it. That's the difference. That's the secret most guys never understand. Another thing you should never say to a woman, especially early on, is how much you need her, or how your life was empty without her. That kind of emotional weight might sound romantic in movies, but in real life, it just makes you look unstable. It makes it seem like your happiness depends on her. And no woman wants to carry that pressure. It's not flattering, it's overwhelming. She doesn't want to feel like your savior. She wants to feel like your reward, not your rescue mission. The moment she senses that your emotional state rises and falls based on her presence, she loses respect. And once that respect is gone, attraction starts to fade. Not because she's cruel, but because you've shown her that you're not emotionally self-sufficient. And in her mind, if you can't handle your own emotions, how can you protect or lead in a relationship? That's the thing many guys miss. Women are constantly measuring your emotional control. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it, how you carry yourself, whether you can sit across from her even when things feel tense and stay calm, grounded, centered. That's power. That's confidence. That's what makes her want to lean in closer instead of backing away. It's like this. When a woman senses a storm in you, she wants to feel like you can weather it, not that she has to fix it. She wants to see that you've been through things and you've come out stronger, not wounded. She doesn't need you to be perfect. She just needs to see that you're not easily shaken, that you're not pouring your identity into her hands and hoping she doesn't drop it. And one more thing that kills attraction fast, over-apologizing. Look, we all mess up, and when you do something wrong, owning it is a sign of maturity. But when you're constantly saying sorry for things that don't even require an apology, like not texting back fast enough or canceling a plan once or simply having a different opinion, it sends a message. You're insecure. You're afraid of losing her. You're trying too hard to be liked. And that neediness, that's the quickest way to make her lose interest. Because when you keep apologizing, you're basically saying, I don't think I'm enough as I am. Please keep liking me. And that doesn't inspire desire. It inspires pity. A woman wants to feel like you're choosing to be with her, not begging her to stay, that you're a complete man, with or without her attention. That's what makes her want to earn your approval, instead of just receiving it passively. So instead of over-explaining, over-sharing, or over-apologizing, do this. Say less. Do more. Let your actions speak. Let your calm energy speak. Let your silence speak. A man who doesn't scramble to defend himself, doesn't rush to explain, doesn't panic when things go quiet. That man creates tension. And tension is the heartbeat of attraction. She should be thinking, why isn't he chasing me? Why hasn't he texted? What's going on in his mind? And when she starts asking those questions, you're no longer just another guy. Now you're a mystery, and people are obsessed with solving mysteries. That's when you become unforgettable. Because you're not acting like every other guy who tries to buy her attention with compliments, long texts, or declarations of love. You're holding your ground. You're making her feel something. And here's the twist. When you do eventually speak, it lands differently. It means more. Because now she knows you're not the type to talk just for the sake of it. You're intentional. You speak with purpose. So when you say, I missed you, it actually hits. Because she knows you didn't say it lightly. And when you open up just a little, she leans in hard because she's been craving it. That's how you flip the script. That's how you stop being the one who gives everything away and start being the one she invests in emotionally. You become rare. And in today's world, rare is valuable. Now let's talk about what happens when you don't follow this. When you ignore all of this advice and just keep saying whatever's on your mind without thinking how it lands. You tell her too much. You confess too quickly. You tell her she's the best thing that's ever happened to you on the second date. And then one day she just stops responding. No explanation. No closure. You're left wondering what went wrong. The conversation was deep. You were honest. You were vulnerable. Wasn't that supposed to build connection? But no. What you did was rush intimacy. You skipped the steps. And in doing that, you remove the very thing that builds tension. Pacing. Women don't want all the answers up front. They want to feel their way toward you. They want to discover you over time, not be handed a blueprint on day one. When you shortcut the process, when you dump everything out at once, you kill the momentum. And when momentum dies, attraction follows. So what's the lesson here? Hold back, not because you're hiding something, but because you understand that desire lives in the unknown, in the unanswered question, in the pause before the kiss. When you speak too soon, too often, or too emotionally, you rob both of you of that magic. And once it's gone, it's hard to get back. And here's the final mistake. Never ever tell a woman that she's your whole world. It sounds sweet, right? Like something out of a love song. But to her, it feels like pressure. Like you're placing your entire identity in her hands. And that's not attractive, it's suffocating. Attraction dies the second a woman feels like you have no purpose, no confidence, no direction without her. It tells her you don't have your own life, you don't have your own mission. You've just latched onto her and made her your reason for breathing. And no one wants to feel that kind of weight. Women are drawn to men who have something bigger than the relationship, who have a passion, a vision, a life that's full, whether she's there or not. That's what makes her want to be part of it. That's what inspires her to stay, because she sees that you're not trying to escape your own reality through her. You're just inviting her into a world you've already built. If you keep making her your whole purpose, she'll eventually run. Not because she doesn't care, but because she needs to feel like she's choosing to be with you, not that you need her to survive. She wants to add value to your life, not be your life. And if you can't stand on your own, she can't trust you to lead, protect, or even hold yourself together if she pulls away. That's why emotional self-control is your greatest weapon in attraction. The man who doesn't give everything away, who doesn't say too much, who doesn't confess every emotion, he's the one who keeps her hooked. Not because he's playing games, but because he's living by principle. He understands that his words have weight. He knows that silence is power. He knows that the less he tries to convince her, the more she feels compelled to prove herself to him. And that's where the dynamic flips. Instead of you wondering how to keep her interested, she's the one trying to win you over. She's the one thinking, what does he see in me? How can I stay on his radar? That's the energy shift that makes all the difference. When you stop trying to get her to like you and start valuing yourself. So much that she has to take notice. It's not about manipulation, it's about emotional discipline. It's about knowing that not everything needs to be said. That sometimes the most attractive thing you can do is say nothing at all. Let her miss you. Let her wonder what you're thinking. Let her work a little, because when a woman has to work for your attention, your time, your heart, she values it more. If you're always available, always talking, always reassuring her, she'll take it for granted. But when you pull back just enough, when you let her feel the tension of not knowing where she stands, that's when she starts to invest emotionally. That's when she starts thinking about you nonstop. Because now you're unpredictable. Now you're not just another guy chasing her. You're the guy who makes her feel something deeper. So what do you do now? You remember the 5 things you should never say to a woman. Don't dump all your emotions too early. Don't confess everything you feel just to feel close. Don't explain yourself constantly or seek her approval with every sentence. Don't tell her she's your whole world, and don't apologize for being who you are. Instead, play it cool. Be calm, be intentional. Let your presence speak louder than your words. Let your energy do the heavy lifting. When you master that, you become the kind of man women chase. Not because you're rich or handsome or flashy, but because you have something way more powerful. Self-respect, control, mystery, confidence. Women aren't attracted to perfection. They're attracted to strength. The kind of strength that doesn't need validation, that doesn't seek permission, that doesn't talk just to fill the silence. And when you show that, when you live that, that's when attraction becomes obsession. That's when she can't get enough. That's when she starts chasing you. Watch the next video to take your game to the next level.